Chase Lee Hockey, Blue Futon. Out of the Hulu world, we have Hellraiser 2022. Reboot. Is it worth it? Pinhead is now a female. Does it really matter? The answer is no. So Hellraiser 2022, what's about? It's a very simple premise, actually. You remember the old one, like 1987 Clive Barker version of it? Basically a reboot of the franchise. Someone finds the box. Gah! People get cut. And now they go to hell in bonkers ways. So, did I like this film? I overall enjoyed the film. Even though there are some nitpicks with the movie about the main character, some of the gore, some of the characters as a whole. But as a complete package, I think the last hour completely shines, while the first hour does take its time. So with that, I'll give the positives of the movie first. I do think the prosthetics and the actors playing all of the symbiotes, is it symbiotes? Symbiotes, whatever they're called. Great gore, great acting. The new Pinhead character is a female. She does a great job. I know people are saying, oh, male to female. For this one, it really doesn't matter who Pinhead is, if it's a male or female, because of the prosthetics, and it's this person being stoic and doesn't matter. So her playing the part, they do alter her voice a little bit, but if people have any reservations of like, oh my god, they're being woke with this one, no, they don't care about this one. It's basically someone replacing the male with a female with the new Pinhead, and it does work, because like I said, it really doesn't matter with all these characters just being like, you know, ripped. You see the muscles, you see the weird just arches and YMCAs everywhere, and the chatting of the teeth. They all work extremely well in this film. Like I said in the intro and a little bit of going into it, I do think the last hour of the movie shines a lot better than the first hour of the film. This is where we're starting to get into the story, starting to get to more of the kills, starting to get more of the special effects of like the ground opening up, the walls opening up, the sky opening up, and actually understanding what we're going to do with the Hellraiser movie. Because the first hour of the movie, you kind of are like, okay, what are we trying to do? What's with these characters? They're just kind of side characters, and then their main character is a little bit annoying, but we're going into the negatives yet. No, stop, Chase. Pinhead, please don't come yet. We'll still talk about the positives. I think the directing is good. Another positive is the CGI. Yes, some of the CGI chains were okay, but when stuff was opening up, the hallways were going, when the person was in the van, I did enjoy that aspect of how they decided to do that CGI. It was minimalist CGI of like going to hell and stuff opening up, but it worked. So doing that minimalist CGI, not going over the top with this type of movie, 100% works. And like I said, even though there is some CGI with some of the gore, like things opening up as well as the chains, I could give it a fault for what they're trying to do with this film. And some of the acting is pretty good in this film, especially the one guy with his the key in his chest. I don't know what else to call it, but he played a good job in this movie, as well as some of the side characters. The main character was 50-50 for me. Opening the movie, the first hour, I couldn't stand her, but she actually understood what she was trying to do. And I was nervous for what the ending was going to do, if it was going to play it safe, but they decided not to do it. So with that, we'll go in the negatives of the film. I do think the main character is a little bit annoying. You always have these characters that are like almost self-centered and just don't care about anyone but themselves. And it's hard to get behind someone who's like that. She knows she has a brother, her brother's boyfriend, her roommate, trying to get involved with her life. You're just like, they're trying to help you. They're not there to hinder you. They're there to help you. And you're just always shutting them in, and you're expecting everything from them, but you don't give them anything in return. So it's really hard to understand and like a character like this. Even though she got into her own the last hour of the movie, the first hour, I was just not a fan of her character and the direction they were deciding to go with this film. Also, some of the characters were almost just side characters. And even though people are probably going to dog me for it, I'm going to say it. The boyfriend and the brother felt like they were a quota. They were barely in the movie, but like, we need a gay character in this movie. Check the boxes. And I feel like that's what we're doing with now quotas with movie. Heck, why am I saying that? The Oscars are saying it. Do you have a quota to be nominated for Best Picture? And it feels like Hellraiser is the same way. Like, did we really need to see them laying in a bed together? Same with, do we really need to have a sex scene with the sister and the druggy boyfriend, or not really the druggy boyfriend, but the rehab boyfriend and stuff like that? Do we need to see him take a shower? Do we need to see her do other stuff? So it was just some scenes where you're like, I understand what you're trying to do, but did that really need to be in the story to enhance the story? I'm very much into, if it enhances the story, add it to it. But here, it was 2 hours, and the first hour didn't need a lot of the scenes in the first 45 minutes. It was like, okay, let's continue on. What are we trying to do? Do we really need this sex scene? Do we need this sex scene? Do we need this picture? Do we need to see this? So there's a lot of pacing issues to me in the first 45 minutes. It was like cut, and take out about 10 minutes. It would have been a nice, easier film. And kind of like I said, with the boyfriend and the brother, they're just mostly side characters, though. It's like I kind of wanted more from them, as well as the gore. The gore in this was very, very tame for what I remember. A lot of the gore is only in the last half of the movie. I would almost say the last 30 minutes. I remember the first Hellraiser, maybe need to watch it. That was just freaking bonkers and hard to watch because it was just grotesque. And when you're watching a Hellraiser Pinhead movie, I expected more grotesque gore. And this didn't really deliver on my scale of Hellraiser gore. But overall, I think Hellraiser 2022 is a solid entry into the franchise. Like I said, I probably need to rewatch the first two Hellraisers. I mean, I know there's a lot other out there, but to me, I have the Arrow releases of Hellraiser, so I'm going to give those a shot and just to see, give a more clear image of the movie. But like I said, it is a solid entry into the movie. It could have been a lot worse, but like I said, the last hour of the movie makes this a worthwhile experience. So Hellraiser 2022 will receive a 3.5 out of 5 Futons, which equals at 70%. So see the critics' news scores gave this one. Critics a 69% with 96 of them. Audience score is 63% with 250. This is a lot lower than I thought it was going to be. Here's critic consensus. A gift for long-suffering fans after numerous subpar sequels, David Bruckner's Hellraiser unlocks the puzzle box for getting this franchise back on the right track. Sure, I guess I could agree with that, but like I said, it just felt tame. I understand what they're doing, but there was some good aesthetics with the house and everything doing it. But just me in Hollywood having checklist boxes is like, does this really need to be in the film? What does it do to enhance the story? It doesn't cut it. So, 70, 69, 63. Chase out with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think is Bufftontopia. You Bufftoners, thank you for watching my fantastic day. Peace and love. Peace and love. If you ever see this box, don't touch it. Don't touch the box.